Last time on G&T Sailing, we celebrated our birthdays and did some exploring in the dinghy. In this episode, we say a sad farewell to our buddy boats Sarama and Salt Whistle and start making the journey north, anchorage hopping 347 nautical miles to Mazatlán. Welcome to G&T Sailing. If you're new here, I'm Gretchen and this is Tim. We've spent the last 2 years refitting Felicita, our Catalina 42, and have finally launched our sailing dream. We don't care where we go, we just care that we go, and we're glad you're coming along for the ride. The prevailing winds along this stretch of the Pacific are from the north, especially in the winter. So, if you're headed north before April or May, it means a lot of beating to weather. We were in a bit of a hurry because we wanted to rendezvous with our friend Onno and carry on north with him back to the Sea of Cortez, and he was waiting for us near San Blas. We had to wait until first light because all those little lights out there on the horizon are pongas, which means that there could be long lines in the water. That's Onno on Las Pearl, a Hardin 45. We had a beautiful day sailing and were delighted to see this sweet dolphin who came to say hi. Long lines were a constant issue on this leg. A long line is a rope tied between two floating points like the milk jugs seen here. The problem is that there's no consistency and they are super hard to see. Approaching Isla Isabel. We're about 3.5 miles away. I feel a little bit nervous going in here. It's sand and rocky bottom and not a lot of protection, but we've got a good weather window, so I'm not so worried about that, but I sure hope we can get our anchor set in such a way that we feel confident and comfortable. Fingers crossed. Let's tell them about our new plan, hun.
Yeah, we timed it perfectly to get from Mazatlán to Isla Isabel. So we'd have plenty of daylight to anchor, only to be greeted by a full anchorage. Not enough room for one of our boats, let alone our buddy boat, Onno, and us. There's a southern anchorage that everybody says don't do it, it's rocky. The book says it, everybody we've talked to. We looked at it, they're absolutely right. And luckily the wind's blowing so we can sail for a while. We're going to go to Mazatlán, sit there for however long it takes to get the weather window to cross. Fuel up, do some laundry.
So we were planning on being on anchor tonight and being at Isla Isabel all day tomorrow. And we knew that we would need to transfer at least one jerry can of diesel into our auxiliary fuel tank for this 94-mile trip to Mazatlán. And so in hindsight, I guess we probably should have transferred that diesel because now we're going to have to do it while we're sailing overnight. So whatever.
Yeah, but the wind's supposed to die.
Yeah.
We'll just be motoring.
Yeah, we'll do it then. I don't think I was going into today mentally thinking about doing an overnight sail,
Yeah,
but we have poured sea breezes, first things first, captain's hour. We're going to watch the sunset. I'm making spaghetti, so we'll have some good fuel into our bodies. Hopefully we can get some good miles here sailing so that it cuts down our motoring so we don't have to deal with transferring diesel at night while at sea, which is not a big deal, but it just is.
Yeah, the seas are nice and flat. Good sea state.
Yeah, I mean, we are sailing upwind, a apparent wind angle of, what are we set out?
45.
And we're not quite on the rum line, but we're pretty close, so not exactly what we planned, but we have converted into nighttime sailing mode, got the jack lines run for safety.
Esta es la vida que hemos elegido, I think it is.
This is the life we've chosen. It's a pretty good life.
It's a good life, yeah. It's a mental thing. You get yourself set up to get to anchorage and have a cocktail and make some dinner, sundowners and everything, and then you got to transfer transfer to overnight sailing mode, it's easier for two of us because we can rest and stand watch, but he's by himself, so he can only catnap a little bit with radar alarms on. But he's right there. He's going to stay over a little over a mile behind us, so he can keep his radius of his radar alarms. And
We will rendezvous in Mazatlán for nap time. It's about 0400 at about 9 or 10 p.m. The engine started sort of hesitating, dropping in RPMs, and then it'd go back up. And we have probably some sort of a dirty fuel situation. It might be because the tank's low, might be because there's gunk in the fuel. And so we just were sort of limping along, hoping to get to sunrise, but the engine just quit. So our first strategy was to switch rate cores, but that just clogged the other filter. So now we are going to fill up our auxiliary fuel tank with more diesel and see if just having a full different tank, running off a full different tank, is gonna do the trick. Probably change a filter. Well, the 4 a.m. jerry can shuffle seemed to do the trick, at least for now. But I guess we have to figure out why that fuel in that main tank is unhappy. So now we smell like we have diesel perfume on our hands. Lovely.
My fear is that we've slushed up the stuff in the bottom of the tank, and we're going to have to drain it and clean it, because we could polish it, transfer it from one tank to that tank through the rate cores, but my thinking is it was running through the rate cores to the engine and it was still not working. So how's that going to polish the fuel?
Yeah.
Maybe put a new filter in and then polish it. Maybe, I don't know.
At least we're running for now.
We are never leaving. I'm going to top off these tanks whenever we're set somewhere. I'm not doing that at sea again.
Avoid it if we can.
Avoid it if we can.
Yeah. Although it worked out okay.
Yeah. I mean, thank God there's a flat sea and everything.
How many miles till Mazatlán?
36.6.
Well, 15 minutes into the aux tank and we're getting the same hesitation. So now we're gonna change our rate core filters because those presumably are clogged from the diesel coming in from the main tank. So hopefully if we change the rate core filters and we're on the auxiliary tank that we've already run down with no problems, hopefully that'll fix our problem for now. Our first rate core filter change, independent rate core filter change. We got the filter, the container, O-rings,
Gasket,
diaper,
plastic bag, put everything in.
really good flashlight.
So what I think you should do is obviously throttle back. I didn't do that last time.
Yeah.
Turn the engine off. I would lock this rudder to see if it can keep us so we don't drift south again.
Yeah.
And we got this guy in front of us, New Sensations, but we'll slow down to
he'll
nothing,
keep
so
going.
we shouldn't hit him.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay,
So,
here we go.
yeah. Yeah, that kind of helps.
How awesome that those rate cores are in such a conveniently located spot. So after you put the new filter in, you have to drain, or what do you do?
Well, I'm draining it because I see a bunch of gunk in the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know how to fill this reservoir back up. Oh, there we go.
So then that's pulling in the clean diesel
From the tank.
from Oggs.
See how green, that's green now?
Yep. Who knew Mexican diesel is green? The sun is rising. The moon is still there. We are 45 minutes post Raycor fuel filter change, and we've been running the engine at like 2100 RPMs, and it all seems to be working. So at least for now, we're in good shape. We still have to kind of get to the bottom of why that main tank was clogging the filters, but maybe the filters were already clogged and we just didn't notice. We're not really sure. So we've got some testing to do, but at least we're gonna make it into Mazatlán in full power. More long lines. There's 3 jugs together. Presumably there's this whole line, and then these 3 jugs. The problem with long lines, besides being a constant threat to any boat's propeller, is that a lot of sea life that's not what fishermen are actually trying to catch get caught and trashed. While long lines are illegal in the United States, they are legal in Mexico. So if you're sailing in these waters, keep a sharp lookout. Arriving back in Mazatlán. This time, we're headed to the anchorage first. Tim, what are you gonna do when we get anchored?
Sleep. Oh, not good at sleeping during the day, but I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day here, though.
It is gorgeous. Some whales just came up, but they're shy, camera shy. We got our anchor set and Onno pulled in a couple hours later. We opted to anchor inside the breakwall as opposed to the anchorage to the south. The only drawback is that it's an urban harbor, so there's lots of traffic and a lot of noise. All day long.
Food?
The amazing dock.
Yeah, the food was okay.
Club Nautica. Oh, Club Nautica. We took advantage of our time here to explore Old Town and parts of Mazatlán we'd not seen in our previous stop. So the boat is right down there, and we walked up this hill, and this is the beginning of the Malecon. We walked into Old Town, did some shopping, hit our favorite restaurant, Topolo, and Onno introduced us to this great French bakery. How was your pastry?
Oh, it was really good. Loved it. And a great cappuccino.
How far are we from the boat? My pastry was good, but my Oreo frappe was amazing.
With no clear weather window in sight, we opted to return to Marina El Cid to clean the boat, get some rest, and stock up on provisions, and then wait. Join us next time as we gear up for our return to the sea. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you catch all the episodes of our first season cruising in Mexico. And head over to Instagram for real-time updates. Check out our tracker and more details about our cruising life at gntsailing.com. We'll catch you next time.
Mexico is Sexico!